There is one question that has echoed across humanity since the dawn of our existence. A question so powerful that it could change the course of our species forever. And that question is, can we turn this cheapo, questionable £1 packet of corner shop meatballs into a tasty, cheap meal? Well, let's find out. For science and shit. Now, if you live in the UK, you're absolutely going to know about these, all right? They're in every corner shop, you know, up and down the country. And love or hate them, you know, they're a quid, all right? So I've got to look into them and see if they're actually any good and if they're edible. The first thing I'm going to look at is, like, what's in them. Ingredients-wise, so it's chicken and pork meat, 81%, breadcrumbs, wheat, salt, yeast, spices, dextrose, gluten stabiliser, spice extracts, rapeseed oil, mechanically separated chicken. That's kind of it, really. Mustard, egg, sesame. But there's actually not a lot of crap in them, to be perfectly honest. So, you know, I mean, I've seen worse in supermarket sausages. And because they're Swedish style meatballs, I thought we'd kind of do like an Ikea sort of meatball gravy kind of thing. So let's see if they're any good. This is a bit of an experiment. They could be shite, but we'll soon find out. So first thing I'm going to do is dice up a shallot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just nip off the ends, slice that in half, use a bit of onion, you know, what you've got. And obviously it's going to be better if you make your own meatballs, isn't it? But I'm also trying to find little gems, you know, hidden gems that you could use when money's really tight. Because, you know, there's enough meatballs in there, split between some sides. You know, I'm having some potatoes and some peas with that. So split that in half. If this turns out all right, you know, you've got a decent meal there, you know, for not a lot of money. All right, let's get rid of that. Oh, shit. Professional channel. I'm just going to roughly slice this up. There we go. There's some sliced up shallots. I'm not going to finely dice them into little bits. So it's mainly because I can't be arsed. And well, this is really an experiment, all right? I don't know how this is going to pan out. You know as much as I do at this point. Right, so I've got a pan here. I'm going to turn that onto I'd say about a 4. And I'm going to add a touch of oil. You know the drill. And then I'm going to wedge in the sliced shallots. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just gently soften these down a little bit. We're basically going to make the Ikea Swedish meatball gravy. This was popular during lockdown, actually. So they gave out the recipe on their website. So I will put the exact ingredients. I am going to make some swap outs because I haven't got Dijon mustard and I haven't got real double cream, but we'll come to that. And it doesn't have shallots in it either, so I'm just kind of adding my own little bits here. So I'm going to soften these down for a couple of minutes. I've got some new potatoes on the go there. They're just going to come up to the boil and gently simmer because I don't think this is going to take long at all to kind of assemble. So I'm going to have those. I'm going to crush them up with some butter, make them all nice and tasty, a bit of salt and pepper. And I'm going to have some peas with it as well, so I might get a pan for that as well. Stop rambling, Adam. Someone said to me in a comment on, I think it's my chicken chasseur, coq au vin that I made the other day. I put a post out and they said that, God, that's a lot of peas that you serve with that. So yeah, I do like my peas. But a lot of us Brits do. So I'm going to add some water to that. Water. Tuesday, innit? Now you can sit on the hob and bring to the boil when we're close, because peas don't take long at all. A lot of people overcook peas. They'll stick them on for like 20 minutes and then they're grey and horrible. Okay, so those shallots have had a little bit of time to cook. They've gone a bit brown because I've been faffing about moving cameras and all that. So what I'm going to add now is keeping the heat on low, probably like a 3 or a 4. I'm going to add the butter. Again, all the measurements will be in the description, and also the flour as well. It's equal quantities of each, 40 grams of each. So we're essentially making a roux here, a very basic roux, which we're going to turn into a nice gravy. The gravy itself is delicious. I know this because I've had it before. But what we do need to do is cook the flour out, because if you don't, the roux is going to be chalky and grainy and floury, not very nice. So I do need to get the kettle on though. Alright, so we've cooked that flour out and everything. So flipping fly in here again. Get out. They always find their way through the smallest little gap in your flipping window, don't they? Always. Anyway, rudely interrupted. Yes, we can start adding the stock a little by little. So, going with about half, gradually thicken up into a paste like so. And I shall add the rest, I think. Go in with it like that. So that's added all the stock. It's still quite thick at this point. We're going to add some cream. But I'm flipping sweating my excuse my French, my bollocks off already. I've only been cooking like 5 minutes or so. We're going to add some soy, 2 teaspoons of that. So we're not going to add any salt to this, I don't think, so I don't think it's going to need it. What do I need now? Mustard. And I haven't got any Dijon, so I'm going to have to use good old Coleman's. And if you're using Dijon, you're going to want about a teaspoon, but you know, we all know that English mustard, aka proper mustard, only kidding if you're French, right, is better. Then we want about 150 ml of double cream, which this is not, by the way. Elmley isn't cream, in case you didn't know. It's buttermilk and fat, but it's all I could get hold of in the village, right? Unfortunately, where I live, there's very limited shops. So unless I wanted to go and march all the way into town just for cream, then, you know, I've got to use this. Which, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Use proper double cream, all right? It's better for you. About 150 ml of that, or basically until you get the consistency that you want. Right, so our sauce is looking nice and velvety, nice and thick. Not too thick. I guess it kind of depends how thick you like your sauce, really, but you're going to add those meatballs in. Now, these are already cooked, okay? So you can eat them raw. And I think actually there's enough sauce there for 2 packets, to be perfectly honest, but look, this is kind of like an experiment. I'm just seeing where this takes us. So what I'm going to do is leave that for, you know, probably about 3 to 5 minutes just to kind of simmer down and thicken up a bit more. Warm those meatballs through. My potatoes are cooking away nicely there. We shall, which hob? That one. We'll get our peas on, get those up cooking as well. And I'll see you in a second. Right, so meatballs are pretty much there. I'm in a bit of a panic here, aren't I? Windows open, doors open, because I'm sweating like flipping mad. The peas are ready, so I'm going to turn them off. Get them drained. All this panic for some flipping shop bought £1 bloody meatballs. This thing you see when you're filming, you've got to like be on your toes a bit. They smell like sweaty feet, so that's good. Right, I know the potatoes are done, so let's do that. Come on. Drain those off, wedge them back in there. Right. And I don't want just sort of ordinary new potatoes, so I'm going to add a pinch of salt, a little bit of pep, and, you know, some butter as well. Here we go. And I'm just going to take a fork and just kind of smash them into oblivion, really. It's kind of like a cheat smash, isn't it, really? And, you know, like I said, this isn't like a thought out, you know, proper developed recipe like I usually do on the channel. You know, it's a bit of an experiment. It's just me like fucking about, really, to be quite honest. Right, let's kind of dish some of this up. So I'm going to add some spuds. Let's add some peas. Right, and let's dish up some of these meatballs then, shall we? I'm kind of a bit apprehensive about this, I'm not going to lie. But we'll see. We will see. Right, let's give this a bash. Okay. I've been getting less and less confident as the video's gone on, if I'm honest, but hey, we'll see. I've genuinely not tried this before, so I don't know if this is going to be any good. That's why I'm here, innit? To find out for you guys. No one cares about the potatoes and peas, you know they're going to be good, so let's see what this meatball and sauce is like. Oh, pretty decent actually. That is not half bad. The meatballs are quite soft. It's a little bit salty. Obviously, if you're going to make your own freshly made meatballs, it's going to be a lot better. But if you're struggling and you want something that's half decent, it's not bad at all. And I would say with that sauce, there's enough there for another pack of meatballs. That's half a pack of meatballs per serving-ish. So that's 50p, plus some potatoes, some peas, the sauce, you know, the shallot, the mustard, all that, a bit of stock. It's going to come in at under £2. That's me being generous, all right? So, you know, that's not bad in this economy, is it? But listen, I'm going to shoot off. I'm going to go and sit down. I will eat the rest of that. That will be my lunch. And before I go as well, if you want to kind of support this channel even further, become a member. I shan't waffle on too long about the benefits of doing that. But if you click the join button below, it will list all the different perks you get with the channel, sort of like emojis, custom badges. You get to see videos before everybody else. So if you want to support the channel, become a member. But if you don't, nothing changes for you, so don't worry. But anyway, I'm going to shoot off. So I'll see your gorgeous faces next time. Ta-ra for now.